Hello guys, Hunt and May 13 here, back with another prediction video. This time for UFC Fight Night, Cannonier v Rodrigues. I'm going to start with fight number 1 on the main card. Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. Now, both are coming off grappling matches, so neither of them have been too active. Now, Rodolfo Vieira is actually on a great win streak at the minute, and a weird fact about that is he's actually the first person in UFC history to have back-to-back armbar victories. Quite a random fact. I don't think it's going to play much of a part in this fight, but I think the fact that he's on a win streak is always a good thing, because when you get these lower level fights, especially someone like Petroski, who's kind of like been in and out of the winning circle, he's not really a constant winner. He's someone who just kind of gets on a roll maybe of 2 fights and then loses. So with it being on a win streak like Vieira's on, and being a younger fighter, I feel like you've got more ambition and you want to get to the top of the division. So for that reason, I'm going to go for Rodolfo Vieira. He's got good grappling. He's the bigger and younger man. He's got good striking as well when he needs to. He can keep you away from him. I feel like Petroski tends to use his striking to get the grappling and the exchanges in the clinch going. So he doesn't use his striking at length. He tends to get into the pocket, so I don't think that's going to work, and against a grappler I feel like it's not going to be a good style matchup for him. So Vieira, I think, has got this one. I think he's going to probably get another finish. I can see it being a maybe rear naked choke. I don't think he's going to get his third armbar in a row, because that'd just be fucking weird. But he's going to get a submission here, I think, in the second, and I think he's going to make pretty easy work of this one. I think it's just a good stylistic matchup the UFC's gave him. So Rodolfo Vieira, second round, rear naked choke. Moving on. Fight number 2 on the main card, and one that I'm really looking forward to. Ismail Bonfim versus Nazim Salikov. Now, I think Nazim Salikov is definitely one of the most underrated prospects in the UFC. He's a warrior. He had a great fight against Slava Claus. He had a great fight, performance of the night recently as well. He's really hard to finish, but he's got really good grappling, and I feel like that's something you don't see with a lot of strikers. Like, you know, a lot of these people who have these wars on their feet, as soon as you take them down, they've got no kind of answer for anything you've got. This guy, he's been tested. He's been taken down in his previous fights. Against Borshev, he got taken down. He got taken down early in the fight. He took the fight to him. Even after that, he got himself back to his feet, and he made sure that he made a fight of the grappling exchanges. He didn't just accept being taken down, which I think a lot of these fighters tend to do. They tend to let the fighter take them down and then not make too much of an effort, because they think, oh, I'll just wait till the next round, I'll save myself in this round, I won't waste my energy. But I feel like Sagikov really makes it, every exchange you have with him, you've got to be really getting him there, or he's not going to accept the position. So I really like to see that in a prospect. I feel like a lot of these people like Peyton Tabit, who people tend to glaze, they're like maybe more flashy, but I feel like Sadkov can be a real like grimy veteran, kind of one of these people who in 5 years time we're going to say he's the guy who we liked watching. I feel like every fight he has is like a performance of the night, a fight of the night, and it shows on his record. He's had multiple performances of the night. He's been in the UFC for 4 fights, and he's had 2 performances of the night and 1 fight of the night. So he's definitely a guy who you want to watch, and he's worthy of this main card spot. So a lot of you might not have heard of him, but I'm going to pick him in this fight. I think even though Ismail Bonfim, when he first joined the UFC and took out McKinney, people were excited about him. I don't think he's really shown as much since then. I think he's, the Benoit Saint Denis fight, obviously at the time we thought, oh, that's Saint Denis though, he's top level. We've found out since that Benoit Saint Denis probably isn't top 15 level, he maybe is at a push top 20 level. And I just don't think I don't think Bonfim's going to be able to handle someone on the rise who's got that grittiness, if you know what I mean. That one of those fighters who's going to really bite down his gum shield, and he's not going to accept grappling positions. He's not going to accept being on the floor. He's going to try and fight his way up. And when he gets up, he's going to attack and he's going to land elbows. He's not just going to let that clinch get dominated. So he's a good fighter, Sadiov. I think he's someone to look out for, and he's my first underdog pick of the card. I think he's going to get the job done, and I think he's going to get it done by decision. I don't think it's going to be a finish, but I do think he'll get the win. Moving on. Fight number 3 on the main card. Edmen Shahbazyan versus Dylan Budka. Now, this fight I've been back and forth on, because Shahbazyan did lose to GM3, which at this point, if you're losing to GM3, I'm having a hard time trusting you to win a fight at the top of any level, any top 20 kind of fight. I'm worried about you, because GM3 is that gatekeeper, but unlike someone like Neil Magny in the welterweight division, I feel like GM3 really is like, if you're getting fraud checked by GM3, you're probably not going to be anything, and I'm not going to let you off on that. But I've got to say, even with that said, Dylan Budka is not a good fighter. He just isn't. I've got in my notes here that he misses weight a lot, but that ain't the problem. He's big for the division. He's 25 years old, and I'm sick of people saying, oh, he's just a kid, he's young, it's a middleweight division, you're at 25's a baby. He's only so far that can take you that argument. He's not talented. He's not good in any aspect of MMA. I've also got in my notes here that he's been beat by decision, like in every fight that he's had. Like he's never that Shahbazyan, by the way. Like Shahbazyan's got a good chin. He's not going to get knocked out, and I feel like that's Budka's way to winning this fight. You're not gonna out savvy someone like Shahbazyan, who's got more experience than you, and I feel like if you can't get the knockout in Budka's case, it's not going to go well for him. He's got no finishing potential, and he's got no excitement to his game. He's just basically someone to throw out on the Apex card to get beat. So I think Budka's going to get fraud checked again. I mean, that sounds weird to say because I didn't know anyone rated him, but I've seen a lot of people in the predictions saying Budka's got a future in the division. I don't see it personally. So I think he's going to get fraud checked for the people who still have faith that he could be anything in this division. He's not good. He's untalented. And I think Shahbazyan's just going to do what he's done on many cards. He's just going to ball the shit out of us and win. He's going to be a decision. It's not going to be anything exciting. Shahbazyan's probably one of the most... I wouldn't be surprised if he holds the record for most Apex main cards, because it seems like every time I switch on the TV on a Saturday, Edmen Shahbazyan's there. But he's not gonna lose this one. He's gonna get the win. I think he's gonna beat Budka comfortably. I think it's gonna be boring, but it's just gonna be one of those fights where you just say the veteran just out-savvied the guy who thought that he could maybe get one up on him. Because I think Budka's probably believes in his head that this is a soft touch, but Shahbazyan finds a way to win against these guys that aren't quite that level, and I think he's going to do that again. Moving on. The co-main event of this amazing Apex card. Calvin Kattar versus Yusuf Zalal. Keita. I've heard Chael calling him Qatar in the past. I need to stop that. Qatar, that's a country that I don't want to turn to Chael Sonnen. Armin Sarkarian. But yeah, I felt weird saying it like that. It's not Qatar, it's Keita. This fight, Yusuf Zalal, got amazing submissions. One of the best grapplers that I've seen in a while coming up in the featherweight division. Exciting on the ground, which you don't see often. Usually, you know, a lot of these people are usually wrestlers who don't go for the sub. They go for position, but Qatar's going to be in trouble here. I think that Yusuf Zalal's really going to cause him problems. And one of the main reasons for that is I think that Qatar tends to, when he comes in with his shots, he tends to overreach. And I feel like that's going to be really prime pickings for someone like Zalal, who's got a good clinch and can trip you. He can take you to the fence, and he can single leg and just pull you down and grind you to the ground and then put you down on that. But he can also use his superior grappling to get you back. So if there's a clinch situation, he could switch up on you. It's just a nightmare matchup for someone like Calvin Qatar. I think he's going to really struggle in this. And one of the main things that worries me as well is the time out. He fought Aljamain Sterling after already a very lengthy time out the octagon, and that was UFC 300 back in April last year. We're now, you know, February. That should have been the time when he went on a run and tried to make up for lost time, and he hadn't done that. And I just felt that stop-start nature when you're facing someone like a Yusuf Zalal, particularly a grappler who's younger and trying to get your spot, you know, not someone who's established. He's trying to take the place of a Qatar, and that's going to be a big scalp for him. I just don't think that's a good matchup. I think he's going to get absolutely mauled in this. I think it's only 3 rounds, even though it's a co-main, but obviously with it being a fight night, so that makes me have a little bit more hope, because I feel like maybe if he can get him early, and because if it was a 5-rounder, maybe he'd be thinking, I want to conserve my energy. So we could see that old Qatar that we saw in the past. But I feel like that's the only chance he has of just going a full metal from the start and taking advantage of the 3-rounder. Because if this could be in a main event, I'd be picking Zalal all day, because I think he'll just grind on Qatar, and I think unless he goes all guns to the wall, he's got no chance. But one thing that I will say is Zalal has shown in the past that he finds it hard to keep that range. When he's fighting someone who's got that superior striking, he tends to panic, and he can sometimes come into a kind of dangerous spot where he's getting caught with jabs, but he's also trying to go for that clinch, and he gets caught in between like positions and transitions. So that's the only chance I see Qatar having in this fight, that he can just catch Zalal coming into a clinch or coming into a trip situation, maybe, where he's going for that inside trip, and he can reverse him and get that ground and pound off. Because we've seen that Cater can really do some good ground and pound. But I to be honest with you, I just think it's a really bad matchup for Calvin. I think he's going to get absolutely dominated and probably finished late. And I think it could be the 3rd round where Zalal gets the sub. So I'm going with a 3rd round sub for Zalal, and I think it's going to come by, like I said earlier in the breakdown, he's going to get his back and just take him down and sub him from there. Moving on to the main event of the evening, and a really good main event. I've got to be honest with you, a lot of people maybe don't think this is high quality main event as far as previous ones we've had, but I think that Gregory Rodrigues versus Jared Cannonier is one of my favourite main events of this year. And the reason why is Rodrigues comes to fight. He is, out of all of the middleweights in the UFC, he comes to lay down and scrap. And he's going to come in this fight, and I can tell you, someone like Cannonier, who's an old guy, an old head, ain't going to be able to handle that pressure. So I might give them away my opinion quickly, but keep listening, because I've got an interesting breakdown here. I think Cannonier is going to be going for his typical outside jabbing. Probably going to look for some right hands, because he throws about 3 every round. But then he's going to really get confident midway through, because if there's one thing Rodrigues does, he comes out all guns blazing. So I feel like Cannonier is going to think, I can catch this guy here. And I think Rodrigues is going to come in, and he's going to be like, whoosh, whoosh, and he's going to hit him with some like body shots, trying to tire the older man out. But I think that's where Cannonier is going to get his confidence of thinking, I can catch him, I can time him here. And that's when Rodrigues is going to catch him with the uppercut. mark my words for this. This fight will finish with this sequence. I think it's going to go really, really short. I don't think it's going to be like the previous fight I said. It's going to go long, late finish. I think this is going to be the first or second, early second or late first. I think that Rodrigues is going to be landing just the odd kick, odd maybe jab, but then Cannonier is going to be going for the proper powerful jabs, like trying to get himself into the fight and make himself feel like he's dictating what's going on. But the thing is, Rodrigues tends to come in with shots that you don't see coming because he's got that kind of, like I think the best comparison to it would be when you see someone like Robocop coming in. It's a bit like prime Kelvin Gastelum, and I know people like to mock Gastelum as like he's a bum. But remember when Gastelum used to, like, when he'd face a taller opponent, he'd come in and he'd land those hooks, but they'd be blinded by his kind of, like, shoulders coming in, and he'd kind of duck and weave a bit like that Mike Tyson style. That's the kind of style that Rodrigues has. So I think Cannonier is going to be landing that jab, and then as he goes for that body shot, he's going to get clipped with an uppercut. I can see it as plain as day. And then he's going to go bang, bang, and he's just going to put him clean out. I think it's going to be the end of Cannonier's career. He's 40 years old. He's had a long career, and he's never been flatlined. And I feel like this is Rodrigues' chance to really make a statement, and I can honestly see it plain as day. I can see Cannonier, jab, Rodrigues ducking under the jab. Cannonier comes in thinking he can catch him. Bang, uppercut, takes him down. Probably ends up ground and pounding him after that, because he's not going to let him off the hook, because it's Cannonier and he's fucking been in the UFC for about 100 years, so they're not going to want to just end his career on that note. But he's going to get the finish in the second round, I think, early. I think early second, late first. He's going to come in for an exchange. I love doing this, my detailed predictions, because the last time I did this was the finish that Pereira had on Roundtree when I said it'd be an uppercut, and I was right on that. Cannonier's going to come in, throw the jab. He's going to miss the jab. Then Rodrigues is going to come up, uppercut, and then he's going to hit him with a right, and then that's going to be it. And he might get the ground and pound in just to make sure that his career's over. So thanks, guys, for listening. That's my prediction. Let us know what your thoughts are underneath in the comments. This is my last fight night before the big announcement, because I'm going to be doing some streams, but I'm going to announce more on that in my next video. Thanks for listening.